Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson, and this time of year in Michigan, there's all kinds of fun things to do in the outdoors. Sometimes you got to get a little creative. This week, we're going to show you a coyote hunt and a couple of other fun things too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show, and I was hoping to bring you a good story from Lake Leelanau on a hot perch bite up there. Of course, when I was there, the perch had pretty much shut right down. I got part of the way home, got snowed in, but I was near the Pentwater area, and they had been doing pretty well on Pentwater Lake. Stopped in there the next morning. Same thing happened there. The perch had pretty much moved on. So we had to backtrack a little bit, and one nice thing about this time of the year here in the state of Michigan, one thing that you can always pretty much count on is chasing beagles through the rabbit woods. So we're going to have a rabbit story for you, and we're also going to stop in and kind of get a season overview of how EHD affected our deer herd. That's a story you won't want to miss. Lots of good things on this week's show, so you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meijer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meijer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meijer. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
Right on the south end of Leelanau County, and the lodge here has been built a couple of times. We've added on to it, but totally we've been on here about 25, 26 years, I guess now. And well, we're primarily walleye fishermen, so a lot of the inland lakes here are good walleye fishing, and the hunting is good. Deer hunting, the QDM has really helped a lot as far as the white-tailed deer, and we do a lot of turkey hunting, enjoy that. So yeah, the hunting is really good right now.
John Nutt is quite the hunter and has traveled the world taking several nice animals. His house here is something many of us wish we had, but we were here to hunt with his nephew Brandon, an up-and-coming coyote hunter.
Explain what we got here.
Alrighty. These 4 and this one are all distress calls.
Okay.
All rabbit distress. And then this is a howler. And this is also a howler and a distress in one.
Okay.
And then this is just a megaphone to make it louder.
Gotcha.
This one you can make a mouse squeak. If you plug that hole, and then if you plug this hole, distress call. With the same thing. And then yeah, these are just little howlers like that.
Now, when we're going to head out here in a little bit, how are you going to start off a sequence? You don't have to, but just kind of what's your philosophy when you first sit down? What are you trying to do?
Well, first I'll put out the rabbit decoy, and then I'll put out my Fox Pro.
Okay.
And I'll start real soft just in case anything's close. If you start real loud, then they spook off. So I'll do real soft calls with the Fox Pro, and then I'll turn that off, and then I'll hit one of these guys, get it real loud, get it out there, and then after about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, probably start wrapping it up. And if we get something to come in, once we see it and it's closing in on us, I'll stop with these and then I'll hit the Fox Pro. That way it takes the eyes off me and onto the decoy and Fox Pro.
Brandon is still in high school and has been calling coyotes for several years now. He has quite a bit of experience for a young hunter and has learned quite a bit while in the woods. One of the questions I asked him was just what kind of a spot is he looking for when he picks a place to set up.
Well, first off, you got to hunt spots where there is coyotes. You can't call an area where there's no coyotes. I mean, they're not going to come because they're not there. So first off, you got to look for tracks and scat and dens and all that. Look for sign, that's the first thing. And when you find sign, you want to hunt areas that are open enough that you can get open shots and see them, but still enough cover that they feel safe coming in. If you hunt open fields, they're very reluctant to come into open fields, and they'll either stay on the wood line where you don't see them. One of the biggest tips is if you got a choice to hunt hardwoods or a field, do not hunt fields. After dark, it's different, but daylight, never hunt fields.
We would stay in the spot for about 20 minutes to a half hour. Brandon would start with the electronic calls and then switch to the mouth calls to get a little bit more volume. His calls really did sound pretty good. The question was there going to be any coyotes around to listen? Well, one nice thing about Coyote Camp is we had Gary Schwack back at the house, and if you're looking for a camp chef, well, you'd be hard-pressed to find one better than him.
What do we have going on here?
Well, we have fried potatoes and onions, and we have a breaded venison with a variety of breading. It was named many years ago by my niece and nephew as McSchwackets, and we're having that, which is it's all round steak and loin.
Okay.
And we're also having Cajun venison, which is something that we put the cast iron skillet till it gets white hot, and then in a minute and a half it's complete. And we're just ready now to sit down and have
So
it.
you only cooked it for a minute and a half on that hot
A minute and a half on
stove.
a hot stove. And it's done.
Cajun
and,
venison.
and it's very tender when it comes out.
Okay. Do you guys eat like this all the time up here?
As often as we can.
Well, we ate like kings on this hunt. Good thing, too, because the snow was deep, and getting in and out of every setup we had quite the workout. There was a good foot of snow in the woods, and there is very little flat ground in Leelanau County. We started at daybreak, and we kept moving from spot to spot in hopes of getting something on camera. We've been trying to tape a coyote calling story for years and have not had any luck. It's hard to do, and it's very hard to capture on camera. However, Lady Luck finally smiled on us. As we were moving from spot to spot, we actually spotted 2 coyotes in a huge open field feeding on a dead critter. We moved into position and quickly got set up. Brandon had them coming on a string, one up the edge that I couldn't really see on camera, and one up the woods coming right at us.
Straight away, in the woods, straight in front of you in the woods. Somebody get him!
The first coyote was hit, and the attention quickly turned to coyote number 2 on the edge of the woods. Brandon's dad was just waiting to make a good clean shot.
There we go, baby. There we go. That's a double right there. That's what I'm talking about.
You young guys go get that.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. On TV. Woo! 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 Yes, sir. Right there, baby.
What a hunt! We got our orange back on and went after the downed coyotes. It was quite a day in the North Woods, to be sure.
This past year's pup.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's this past year's pup.
Got hit a few good times, though.
Yep.
Yeah, so, Brandon, walk me through what happened there. What happened? How'd we...
All right, well, we've been hunting, last night and this morning, and we hadn't seen anything. No luck, and we were getting kind of down, and so we decided to go ice fishing. So we're coming back past my uncle's field, about ready to pull in the driveway, and we see some crows out there, and then I see a coyote. So then we stop, and I get the binocs up, and we ended up seeing 2 of them out there. So we pulled down the driveway, parked at the pole barn, walked up. We got probably about 400 yards away from where we last seen them. Hit the rabbit distress call, probably 2 sequences, about 10 minutes into the calling, and seen them coming through the field, and then the front one stayed along the field, And then this guy, the back one, he cut into the woods.
Yeah, and we were standing up. I mean, that was not your typical sit-down call for
No,
we
that was a
knew they were
rushed.
there, but
That was a rushed, hurried call.
that was awesome, though.
They're only out there for one reason. They're out there by them pine trees. They're out there to find food.
And it was kind of a team effort. I mean, we got this one, and we got to go check out the other one, but
Oh yeah.
everybody got a shot at it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has bullets left. I know I don't.
I think I got one bullet left.
I emptied my gun on him. I know that.
Oh, well, that's a good-looking coyote right there.
Small one, but I like the color on him.
He's got a nice color.
Yeah, he's got a nice color, but man, both of them are small.
I don't know who was more excited, Brandon and his buddy Derek, Brandon's dad Dan, or me. We have chased these critters a few times every year trying to get one on tape, and to have two come in and to get both of them on camera, well, it was all any of us had hoped for. Those who do this kind of hunting all the time say it is pretty addictive, and I tell you what, I can see why that is.
Well, nice shooting there, young fella.
Young. Those are the young guys, Jimmy.
Oh,
It all worked out.
that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Happened
Yes,
fast.
he did.
Happened fast.
Well, she's not bad looking either.
No, she's got a better coat on her than the other one. A lot darker.
All of them's all messed up.
Another young one though. This is this year's pup.
As we headed back to camp, I asked Brandon just what he likes about this kind of hunting.
The rush. The rush after you get one. I can go, I've went 40, 50 sits without seeing anything, and I hate it. I get burned out and don't want to do it, but I just keep doing it because I know once it happens, just like this, getting one coyote in and killing it is worth 50 sits with nothing, just that one.
One thing about hunting here with these guys is that they really know how to eat. Now this dish here, this is one you really should try.
Cajun Walleye Supreme.
And what is, give me the short description of what that is.
That is, you brown the walleye in butter with blackened seasoning, and then you use cream of shrimp soup, green onions, mushrooms, and fresh parsley, and you brown that up a little, and then you add the shrimp and spoon this over the top of it, and it goes in the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. It is not bad.
This is a hunt I won't soon forget. Great food, a log place that is as beautiful as the country that it's in, and even better than that, some guys who make you feel like you've been a part of their hunting camp for years. It was a special hunt to be sure, right here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
This year, epizootic hemorrhagic disease, or EHD, was far and away a bigger effect on deer in Michigan than we've ever experienced before. In years past, we would have typically 1 or 2 counties where we documented outbreaks of EHD, 1,000 or a couple thousand deer reported. This year we had 30 counties confirmed with EHD, and by confirmed that means at least one deer was actually collected, brought to the lab at Michigan State University, and tests run to know for certain that EHD was responsible for some deer dying in those locations. We probably had more than 30 counties easily. There's a few that we had reports and we just didn't have the logistics available to get a confirmation test in each location. It was over 14,000 deer reported. Now that's simply the number that somebody found and then took the time to report along to us. The way EHD operates, though, is that those losses aren't evenly spread out. So the disease is transmitted by a midge or a small biting fly that are pretty closely tied into water sources, ponds, rivers, and streams. That's where deer are exposed to the virus, and typically within a week or two, if they're susceptible to it, they'll be dead. So that outbreak emerged in late July, mid to late July. It continued on for some time, but the deaths are happening pretty concentrated in around these areas where the virus emerged. We've always tried to remind folks that when you see figures on how many deer were taken in an individual county or even a region that we sometimes report numbers at, how many deer we think there are, other ways we track deer with different indices to numbers. That's useful and that's important for us for a lot of the large-scale management decisions we make, but it might be completely irrelevant to you as an individual hunter on your property or your friend's property or wherever it is that you hunt. There's a lot of other things that affect what you see and what ability you can have to influence deer management in your area. So from the silver lining, though, it helps to demonstrate to people that you may have been pretty close by an area where a lot of die-off occurred, and yet you saw no change at all on your hunting once the season opened. Other folks, we made it very clear, if you're right in and around the area of a severe outbreak, you may see substantially fewer deer. We set regulations at a pretty broad level, and we try and direct deer management in certain areas of focus. But the way you make decisions on your local area have a big influence on whether you're going to be, similar to or different from regional trends as a whole.
One of the most unique things about EHD is just how localized it can be. And I got to see this firsthand when I interviewed a couple of hunters hunting the same township that had completely different hunting seasons.
Well, Jordan, coming into the season, I was quite concerned. I'd been hearing about EHD and all of the deaths of the deer right in our co-op area, and started bow season with only one doe permit. I wasn't sure if I was even going to take a doe. I was going to see what we could see in terms of deer, and we actually had a very good season. I saw quite a few deer during bow season. First couple days of gun season, I saw more deer than I have ever seen here on our farm, and I know just a few miles away they were finding dead deer piled up everywhere. My immediate area, morale was very good. We, especially once guys got out and started seeing deer. My neighbors did very well, and in fact they had a similar comment to mine when we got together to talk about what we were seeing. They were seeing more deer than they ever had just in this immediate area. So our morale was good. I had, like I say, a number of, several new hunters come out, get their first deer. My buddies who came out and hunted here all did well. We only took one buck, but we were able to put venison in the freezer for everybody who wanted to, and we were able to donate a deer to Sportsmen Against Hunger also.
Well, one side of the township saw what seemed to be a slight increase in the deer herd. It was a completely different story just a few miles away. Hunters on the south side of the township were devastated by EHD and had the numbers to prove it.
I had pictures on my trail cameras that I had sent to Kip Adams, the biologist with the CDMA out in Georgia, asking him to identify or age these deer. So I had, on one camera, I had 4.5-year-old bucks moving in and out of this thing. And so I'm feeling sorry for the guys over east of us, but thinking, okay, well, maybe this is gonna work. And then a week later, we fished one of those 4.5-year-old dead ones out of my neighbor's pond. The guy across the road, his land borders right on the Grand River, and he found a few, but you could drive down M21 in our neighborhood and just smell dead deer. And then the deer just all of a sudden just disappeared. So this is August or September, the end of August or 1st of September, and then by this time we've all seen a lot of deer. Me and the neighbors have seen a lot of deer. We've talked about a lot of that. As we went into the season, you're still optimistic you're a hunter, so you want to get out in the woods, you climb up the tree stand, and we're just not seeing deer at all. So the hunter's expectations went down, morale went down, guys found other places to hunt.
In 2012, many Michiganders found out firsthand just what this disease is all about. Although it's been around for quite some time, we here in Michigan have never seen an outbreak that compares to last year. The 14,000 plus deer reported account for only a portion of the total die-off, and it's important that we as hunters take the time to evaluate the deer herd in our area when deciding how many deer to harvest next season.
Well, special thanks to Jordan and all involved in telling us that story on how the EHD affected our deer herd this year. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that we don't have those same kind of results this year as well. Let's shift gears a little bit right now and do something that a lot of us love to do this time of year. That's chase beagles.
Like those? What do we got here?
This is Fast Tracks Tucson.
Yeah?
Yep. We call them Tui. And that's Big Max there.
Okay.
And,
We had quite a crew as we hit the woods today. Other than Sean, we had Elise Benson, Rob Pree, Danielle Wolfson, Cage Herrick, and Jamie Golden. The older guys along on this trip were some hardcore beaglers. Jamie has become a friend of mine and was nice enough to let me tag along as we hit the woods today.
A lot of snow, you know, deep snow. There's a lot of game in the woods, you know, so hopefully we'll get the dogs to get something going, you know. Okay. But well, when we got, you know, people hunting, I kind of like to set the you know, the guys that are shooting up first, and then let the dogs loose, because otherwise the dogs are just going to kind of file you up in there and then hunt off you. Right now they're getting set up, and we'll just cut the dogs loose, and they'll get in there and hunt all the stuff, and hopefully we'll get one going, and they're in the right spots. Okay. And then when the dogs start running.
As we bumped around in the thick stuff, we were moving the rabbits right towards Jamie and the guns, who were set up in the perfect position.
You're gonna, Manny. Whoever gets beat on him, wait till he gets closer. You're ready. You're gonna. Whoever gets beat on him, go ahead, take your safety off and shoot him. Shoot him, Manny. All right.
Now, even though we could have shot a few more rabbits had everyone had a gun, that was really not the point today. Getting these young hunters involved is pretty important.
Very important to me, you know. My boys are right at the age where they're just starting to hunt a little bit. They're kind of young yet, but for me, you know, I like to go out and shoot a few rabbits myself once in a while, but mainly it's about the dogs anymore. If I do take a gun, I end up not shooting anything, you know. Because I want to run them, you know, keep running them, and but it is important to get the kids out. To me, you know, I'd rather have them shoot them than me, because I've shot enough. Hold on.
It's right here. What you guys do? Right here. Go.
Yeah. Kind of.
That's some close range shooting. I don't know if I can see it on camera, but
Should I shoot it again? I think I broke it.
Nice job.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
That was the old what? 5-yard shot?
The old hip shot.
All right.
It made up for the last one. If I didn't shoot that, I think I would quit.
Nice.
There you go, girlfriend.
Let's see. Hold that up there. Nice job.
Thanks.
Boy, we were
nice
in a
rabbit
tight
too.
spot.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, wouldn't you know, we bumped another one right out after Elise shot her rabbit.
No.
It's hit. Shoot it again. That got it.
Today didn't really showcase just how good these guys' dogs really are. The deep snow made for some tricky conditions. Sean is the president of the Muskegon County Beagle Club and puts a lot of time into his dogs.
We're a little pack club through the National Kennel Club, and we compete our hounds. And so, you know, I enjoy running my dogs, hunting them, you know, and running them and competing them, because, you know, they're a very competitive breed, these beagles are, and it's just a lot of fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a great time. The more time on the ground, the better they'll get, you know. It gives them experience, you know. The more time, you know, the better they get. You try to run them in groups of their own age. We try not to run our real young dogs with these dogs, you know, because they're so much more different, you know, caliber at that age than they are, you know, the young dogs are.
Much like bird hunters, coon hunters, and a lot of bear hunters, it's all about the dogs. Today we had some good dogs on the ground, and even though we didn't slay the rabbits, it was a perfect winter day. Some new hunters got to burn a little powder, and the older guys got to share some good stories along the way. Just what a day of chasing bunnies is all about. Thanks to all involved today, and if it's been a while since you've heard a beagle on a bunny, well, give your local Beagle Club a call. I bet you can find someone that would be more than willing to take you along on a snowy winter Michigan morning.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Coming up this weekend, it's free fishing weekend across the entire state. You don't need a fishing license in order to head out there and enjoy some of the fishing we have to offer. A couple of different fun events are happening around free fishing weekend, one of which is the second annual Waterways Ice Festival that happens at the Mullet Lake Marina in Sheboygan. Lots of fun. We were there last year with the TV cameras. All kinds of fun games for the kids outside on the ice. There's live music inside in the warming tents, horse-drawn carriage rides, all kinds of fun stuff happening there. And the DNR is hosting a couple of free fishing seminars happening out on the ice. One is in Gogebic County on Bass Lake, and the other is in Iron County on Runkle Lake. If you'd like more information on any of those events coming up for free fishing weekend, check out our Facebook page where there's always something going on.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Zimmer Roofing and Construction in Port Huron, featuring Duralast roofing systems made in Michigan. Zimmer Roofing and Construction provides installation, maintenance, service, and repair, serving commercial and residential clients on the web at zimmerroofing.com. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 21st through the 24th at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, wildlife encounters, and of course Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi February 21st through the 24th. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.